We're live. Let me just have a look here. I don't think so. Yeah, guys, am I audible? Hello, yeah, good evening. Am I audible? And if, yeah, right now I'm audible and I'm visible as well. And welcome back to our second day for the JavaScript. And today we are just going to do a lot of fun. So, yeah, good evening. Good evening. Yep. Yes, good evening. So, first of, good evening from UTC3. Yeah, really? Okay. So yeah, today we are just going to continue from the part where we left yesterday. And also we are going to learn about some new concept of JavaScript like conditions, if and else, etc. etc. Maybe a little bit of functions also, so if we have enough time. So we will cover the what do you say, the functions and all. So if you're coming from any other language, so you're just going to feel like okay, right at home. By the way, in the very beginning, let me just tell you how you can mark your attendance. To mark your attendance, just go inside a description. Here we'll find a link called one link. So just click here and you will get to a page where you can actually find everything. What I mean by everything is that you will find how to mark your attendance. Here also you can join our group if you just want to take part in the quizzes that happens every day after the session. If you just want to win some exciting prizes and also you can just join our group. So here we have a WhatsApp and the Telegram group. We always have some quizzes and all after the session. So don't forget to take part there because you can win like 500 rupees worth of Amazon voucher there. And for the yesterday's quiz, I'm just going to announce the winner like after 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so. And how to mark your attendance. So here you will see day two variables, operators, etc. etc. Just go over here and mark your attendance. And if you like my session a lot, you can just give me a 10. So I like myself a lot, so I'm just going to put 10 here. And for the fullest 6 months of full stack course, I am pretty sure that you already know about this course. If you're just interested in our course, just give it a quick yes here. And if you have any suggestion for us, just go here. Right now, I don't have any suggestion for myself and for the Let's Upgrade, and just submit your attendance. So that's all. If you just want to get the certificate, you have to like put your attendance here. So don't forget to do this. And we are just about to start our session with a quick recap what we did yesterday and also some new concept that we are going to learn today. So let me just start with a quick recap. So here's the project that I was working on. So day one with JS. So let me just open this file. So day one with the JS. And right now I'm just going to open this file with the VS Code. Remember we created this file yesterday. So nothing has changed. We are at that moment where we have left yesterday. So the live server, remember, so I'm just going to use the live server so that I can open my website, and inside this script tag we are going to write all of our JavaScript. So JavaScript is just another programming language which can actually work with a browser like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, any of Safari, and we use this JavaScript to add some extra features, some functionality, or you can say a soul for your website. So here we are just going to write all the logic, all the stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun, by the way. It's just a beginning, yeah, it's just a beginning. So just click on the go live and click on the go live. Let me just close this CMD here. Yeah, and let me just change this JavaScript day one to day two. So day two for the JavaScript and a quick save. Let's see if we are getting our stuff. Yeah, day two. So let's just start. Yeah, good evening. And a quick recap was that yesterday I told you about something called console.log. So console.log is basically used to print anything inside our console panel. I hope you tried it once. Like you can give 5 to 10 minutes. That's more than enough for any programming language. So after the session, just give 5 to 10 minutes. So you have like what you have real hands-on. So that's why. So I'm just going to write a console.log hello world here and just open your website and just give a quick right click, go to the inspect, and here you will see something called console here. So I'm getting hello world here. That's very easy and nothing so fancy here. So, and yesterday I just also told you about something called values. So any number is a value, and value is basically of type of these is the type of number type of value. Yeah. number type of value. Obviously, you can see it like these all are the numbers, so number type of values. And we have something called string type of value. So string type of values. Yep. So it's the string type of value, and whatever value you put inside this console.log, you will get here in the console panel. So I'm getting string type of value because I just put this value, string type of values here. So if I just put any number here as well, so let's say 345. So I'm just going to get 345 here. Very straightforward, very easy. But why we are going to use our console.log? Just to see, just to check that if we are doing everything correct, if the value is correct, if our operations are correct, and just to see what we are actually doing. So that's the only use case for this console.log, nothing more than that. And yesterday I just also told you about something called variables. So if you just want to give a name, if you just want to give a name to your value, just use the concept of variables. So how actually you can create a variable? Just type var. Okay, so it's a keyword. Var is a keyword that you always have to use whenever you are going to create a new variable. So var, and you have to give a name for a variable. Name for a variable could be anything. So I'm just going to go with the a equals to and a value here. So I'm just going to go with the 10. And now let me just do a quick console.log a here. So what is going to happen in this case, that this way a is a variable which is actually storing the value 10. So it's just going to replace this a by the 10, and we are just going to get the output 10 here. See, we are getting the output 10 here. And also we can also perform some operations on these values. So how you can basically perform these operations? So let me just create one more variable b here and another variable c here. So c is going to be equal to 10, let's say a plus b. So what is going to happen here? So I am creating a variable c which is going to equals to the a plus b. So the a is here 10, b is equals to 20. So what we are going to get? 10 plus 20, and we are going to get 30. So let me just do a quick console for the c, so we can see that if we are working correct. So see, I'm getting 30 here. Okay, very easy stuff, very straightforward. And the next thing is that you can also change the value for any variable at any moment of time. So suppose I don't like that, I don't want the value of a to be 10 anymore. So I can just go over here and let me just write a equals to 30. So now the value of a is 30. Why? Why? Like, what is the reason behind this? That JavaScript will read your code from top to bottom and from left to right. Okay, top to bottom, left to right. So first it's going to execute this line. So in this line we are declaring a variable. We are actually declaring a variable. We are declaring that I have created a variable called a and its value going to be 10. And at the second line, I am reassigning the value. So I'm changing the value of a from 10 to 30 here. So as soon as it will hit this second line, so first line is completed. So as soon as this first line is completed, it will move to the second line. So second line says a equals to 30. It's no more 10. And now I'm doing a code console for the a. Let me just do a quick console for the a. So just to see that if we are doing everything correct. See, I'm getting a 30 here. So let me just make it, let's say, this huge number. So I'm going to get this huge number here. And we can perform some operations like multiplication. So like the value of a multiplied by 45, and we are going to get this number. Like, I don't know if it is correct or not, but I'm going to trust the JavaScript that this number is correct. Let's just go with the division. So for the division, just use backslash. And if you just want to know what would be the remainder, if you just divide these two things. So I'm just going to get 35 here. So 35 is the remainder. So this all stuff we have basically covered yesterday. And from today, we are just going to start with some conditional statements. We call it control flow. Okay, so as now I told you that the code will start reading from top to bottom. Okay, so it's just going to execute each and every line it will encounter. So if I just do console.log 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's just going to look for, like, it's just going to execute each line. It's not going to skip any line. So let's suppose, if I just do console.log here of 1, 2, 3, and let's say 4 and a 5. So it's just going to execute each line one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Suppose I just don't want to execute this piece of code, this second line. Let me just decrease this numbers to 3. So I have now 3 line of code. One line, second line, and the third line. Suppose if you don't want to execute this line for any reason, so just wrap this code, or what you can do, just type if here. Okay, if and a bracket. And this if actually is a very, very special kind of thing. So so if is again a keyword, by the way. If is just a keyword here. So let me just show it to you. Like if you type if here, if, and after that you have to put these brackets and the curly brackets after that. And inside this, if you can pass a true or a false, true or a false. So if you just pass a false here, okay, so if I'm writing if here, and inside this bracket I'm just typing false here, okay, just basic false. And inside this curly bracket, if I write some code here, so let me just write console.log, I am inside the if. Okay, and let's just do a quick save here. I'm not getting the output. See, I'm not getting this output. I'm not getting this output that I am inside if or something like this. Why? Because if you pass a false here, whatever you have inside this bracket is not going to get executed. Like it's just going to skip through that part. So if I have some another line after that, so let me just type here console.log, I am outside of the if, and see, I'm getting this output. I'm outside of the if, but I'm not getting this output. I'm inside of the if. And if I just convert it into true, and now I'm just going to get both the lines. Whatever code you will have inside this if is just going to get execute, and if you have false here, whatever code you will have inside this block is just going to get ignored. Okay, but now it's not making much sense here. So if I just don't want to execute this line, I will just remove it. Why we should write it here, even if you just don't want it to get executed? Because sometimes you want a piece of code to get executed conditionally. So depending on some condition, if you just want to execute a piece of code, and let me just tell you about some of the conditions. So let me just remove everything from here. So remember yesterday I told you that we have two types of value, so number and the string. But today I'm just going to tell you about one more type of string. One more type of value that we call Boolean. So Boolean actually looks like true or a false. Okay, so these true and false are the Boolean type of value, and we just have two types of value, like true or a false. Okay, true and false are just Boolean values. So we just have two types of Boolean value, true and false. Okay, first thing first, very clearly. And now let me just show you one more thing. So let me just create one more variable here. So where a equals to 10 and where b equals to 20. Okay, and if I just want to perform an operation on them, so let's just create one more variable here where c equals to, let's say, a plus b, and let me just do a quick console.log for this c here, console.log c here. So I'm just going to get 30, but yesterday I told you that this plus is a arithmetic operator. This plus is an arithmetic operator which is actually used to join two numbers. Yeah, it's just to add two numbers, addition. Similarly, we have many more operators. Like one operator is called comparison operator, and it's called greater than or lesser than. So it actually looks like this arrow. Okay, so it is saying that a is greater than b. Just check it. The value of a is 10 here. So it's saying that 10 is greater than, what is the value for b? 20. So is it true or not? Obviously not. Like 10 is not greater than 20. So it is just going to give us a result false. It is just going to give it a result false. So now if I just do a console.log for this c is going to store a value false here. See, I'm getting a false here. Okay, so that's the basically use case for these Boolean values. So you can basically compare two things. You can basically compare two values, and you can basically get the output in true and false. So I'm just going to convert into another comparison operator, lesser than. So we are saying this a is lesser than b. So A is 10 here, lesser than B is 20 here. Is it true? Yep, 10 is obviously lesser than 20. So now C is gonna be true here. So let's see. Yep, we are getting true here. So now we know about the comparison operators. Then we have some more comparison operator. One comparison operator is called equal equal. Okay, it's actually double equals, equal and equal. Let me just fix my setting here. So just give me a second, guys. Yeah, font, the font literature to false. So now you will see it clearly. See, these are double equals to, double equals to. And double equals to basically is used to compare two numbers if they are equal. So right now what is saying that 10 is equal to 20. Obviously not, like 10 is not equal to 20. So we are going to get what? False here. And if I just make it, if I just let's just see the output here, we are getting false here. So if I just make the two, let's say A is also 20. A is also 20. And if I just give it a quick save, so I'm getting true here. Because obviously 20 is equal to 20. Isn't it? Very easy, very straightforward. Then we have something called lesser than. So right now just see what we are going to get the output. So right now we are saying that 20 is less than 20. So what we are going to get in the output? False or true? So the question says 20 is less than 20. True or false, guys? Just give your answer in the chat. So let me just go here. I think after the class. Okay, just say 20 is lesser than 20. False. Yep. Prajapati is saying exactly the correct answer, by the way. So you missed your yesterday's class. No worries, I always give the recap for the previous session. Like it's my habit. False, 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 false. Exactly. We are going to get the false here. Because obviously 20 is not less than 20. It's equals to 20. But what if I just want to check if A is lesser than or equals to 20? So in that case, just use this lesser than and equals to. So now we are checking if A is lesser than or equals to 20. Okay, so if A 20 is less than or equals to 20, so A is equals to 20. So that's now we are going to get 20. True here, sorry. Yeah, true here. That's a very good response on your side, and that's all about the comparison operators for now. But let me just end this comparison operator with the most difficult comparison operator that you will see here. So I'm just going to make the A 10 here again. Okay. So now we are in this case we are saying that A is less than or equals to 20. Yep, A is less than 10 is less than 20. So that's why we are getting true here. But we also have some more operator called not equals to. So this exclamation sign and equal. So it is saying that if 10 is not equals to 20. So just give me your answer. Like if 10 is not equals to true. Sorry, if 10 is not equals to 20, are we going to get a true or a false here? So this operator basically check if two numbers or two values are equal or not. If they are not equal, it will return us a true. But if they are equal, it will return us a false. So I just want to see the answers from your side. So what will be the answer here? True or false? True, true, true. Exactly. We are going to get a true here because 10 is obviously not equals to 20. So if I just make this A20 as well, so in this case, I'm just going to get the true, false. Why? It's saying that 20 is not equals to 20. But what kind of rubbish is this? Like 20 is obviously equals to 20. So we are going to get a false here. So let's just see. Now we are getting a false here. So this is all about the comparison operator. There's only one single comparison operator is left, triple equals to, that I'm going to cover like within a minute or so. Before that, I just want to like Northern Kumar, we are just going to come back to this thing, this string. Just give me a second. I have an announcement to do for you. So the quiz winners for yesterday's quiz are Samuel, and you're just going to get the 500 rupees of Amazon coupon. Congratulations to you. And for the second prize goes to Momin Abdul. You will get 150 LU coins, and Mansi, you're going to get 100 LU coins. You can basically use these LU coins on our platform to like get some exciting prizes, and you can enroll into courses, you can redeem the certificates, etc., etc. By the way, like kudos to the first prize, Samuel. Yeah, don't forget to share your money with me. Okay. And don't forget to see this future dev subscription as well. So just yesterday I just told you there's this future dev subscription. It's just like a Netflix for the developers. So like these sessions are just essential sessions. So we will just cover the essential part here. And if you just want to like learn more and on your demand, so it, like if you have demand to learn, let's say MySQL, or let's say React, or it could be anything. If you want to learn anything, you can just get enrolled into this future dev subscription. It's just gonna cost you 400 rupees, and you will get a subscription for 2 months. Each week you will learn a new skill, and the new skill will be like right now we have GitHub, SEO, DSA, AppSheet, Java, advanced JavaScript, advanced like and much more. Like it's a top-notch blockchain, resume, responsive website, and a lot of stuff here. We have a lot of stuff here, and also you can add content according to your demand. So it's just a Netflix, it's just a community, and if you just want to join us, you can just go. And the form filling is very simple. You will get a link here. Just click here. And by the way, these prices are temporary. It can like increase at any moment of time. It will become like 1,000 rupees. So if you just want to get enroll now, just click on enroll, fill up the form, choose a date, and that's all. Okay, that's all. So, and by the way, you will get a certificate for each new skill you will learn. So we will come back to this future like within a minute. So by the way, like congratulations to all the winners. I hope I will see you in the future live sessions, because there I take the JavaScript part. I take, yeah, this JavaScript part I will take for you, and I think I will also take this GitHub part. So I hope I will see you in the future lab. Okay, that's very great. Yeah, Prajapati, we are just going to come back to this third. Let me just come back to this if and else. So remember, we had something called if here, and after this if, I could have write like console.log, and I am in if. And if we were just passing false into here, so we just pass false here, this piece of code won't execute. But right now, I'm just going to create a variable. So a equals to 10, and let's say where b equals to 20, where c equals to, let's say, if a is less than b. And now, as I told you, like we were saying that this c was getting some values, true or false. So why won't we just put c here instead of just passing false and true directly? We will just pass a variable c here. So now this statement is true. So a is obviously less than b, because a is 10, b is 20. So that's why we were getting the output this I am inside of. Okay. So we are executing a piece of code on the basis of a condition. So let me just write a quick code for you. So I'm just going to create a variable age, and let's say age is 20. And what I'm going to do, if age is less than or equals to 18, I'm just going to print out console.log you are an adult. I'll just put some emojis here as well. So let's just put this one. And now, so see, we're getting less than, oh, sorry, if age is greater than or equals to 18, yeah, if age is greater than or equals to 18, I'm just going to get this output, you are an adult. So what are we actually doing right now? We are just covering this second concept, conditions. What we will learn about, if and else, such as if else, if else, if else. Yep. So like we covered, like what is if? So if is basically like, if this condition is true, execute this code, else. So we are just going to cover the second part. So what is this else here is? So what is this else? So we have if, like we can see that if this condition is true, execute this piece of code. But we have one more thing after if. So every time after if, you can just put a else here and a block here again. And you can write here, if console.log you are a child, my friend, friend. Let me just put a child emoji. So what we are saying here actually is, so if this condition is true, execute this piece of code. Else, execute this piece of code. That's all. That's all about if and else. So every if can have a else here. Every if can have a else here. Okay. Very easy, very straightforward. Now, what I want to show it to you. So if I just make this value less than 18, so let's just make it 12. So now whatever you have inside this else is just going to get executed. See, you are a child, my friend. So why we are getting this output? Because we are basically executing this piece of code. Because this condition gonna we get in result false. So age gonna be 20 equal greater than or equals to 18. We are going to get a false here. So this piece of code will get executed. Okay, that's very nice. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove this equal sign from here because I just want to tell you about one more thing. That after this if, you can again put a if here. You can again put a if here. So else. So what I'm saying here, if this condition is false, execute else, and you can mention another condition here. So let me just put another condition here. Let's say if age is equals to 18. So if this condition is true, so what I'm saying here, if this is false, go to this part else, and else if age is equals to 18, whatever code you will have here is just going to get executed. So let me just put, and then you are 18. Okay, so let's just see. So I'm not getting any output, so let me just put a 18 here. And now the second condition is getting true, so that's why we are getting this output. And after that you can put a else here, else, and let me just put like you are a kid. So what we are doing here, if this condition is true, move to, let's just execute this piece of code and ignore rest of the stuff, if this is false, move to this thing like as if, check for a condition. If this condition is true, like ignore rest of the stuff and execute this piece of code. And again, if we get a false here, again, now we can execute this else part. And the thing is, you can have as much as else if you want. So it depends on the situation. So suppose if you have a situation there, you want to have multiple if else, you can basically change. You can have a chain there. Just have a chain kind of else if else, if. But generally, I don't prefer to put a chain there because it's little difficult to like understand what is actually happening. So this is all about the if. Now let me just go through the chat and let's see if you have any doubts still here. Okay, if you have any doubts still here, you can ask me. How to use the emoji? Like using emoji, very easy. Just go anywhere, press Windows and the dot. So you will get this thing. Yeah, press Windows and the dot. What about, yeah, we are going to cover that. Difference between JS and, yeah, Divya is asking this question a lot, so I'm just going to give you a quick answer to you. The answer is very straightforward. Document selector, we are going to cover document selector topic tomorrow. Yeah, where is that? Can you explain the complete rest of the portfolio explanation you left at the C? Aradhana, the thing is, basically it's a JavaScript session, so I am not allowed to do that. But again, if you just want to like complete that as well, so that was like the introduction for the HTML CSS, and I'm really hoping that you got all the stuff, the basic of HTML CSS very clearly. So that's the whole goal for that session, that you just start your journey with HTML CSS. So I think and I hope that you started your HTML CSS journey there. And if you just want to learn more, yeah, so but because the thing is, it's not possible to cover everything in just 5 hours of these sessions. And I also have to give announcements, and I also have to answer all of your doubts and all. So at the end of the day, I just have 2 hours or 3 hours of time. So that's the thing. And if you just want to learn more about this thing, either you can just go with our future dev subscription. Yeah. So there you can basically ask for the specific content. So you want to know more about that portfolio. So we will cover that for you there. And obviously it's just a great deal for now. And I'm not promoting that exactly. I'm just telling you the truth. So if you just want to have some more content, you can just go there, like just for the future type subscription. So just go over here. And if you just want to make your career through this whole thing, like if you just want to become a full stack web developer, software engineer, data scientist, anything, just try about full stack courses there. So that's the whole deal here. Yes, same answer for Jaydeep for the let and where. By the way, I will try my best to put as much as content I can put here. Yeah, yeah, Balaji. Sir, please clear. Yeah, Aditya, I'm just going to come back to that. Move to that. Okay, so that's all about the if and else. Now the last operator, the comparison operator. So let me just put, sorry, where a equals to 10 here, and where b equals to 20 here. And what we were doing, like where c equals to a equals to, let's say b. And let's just do a quick console.log for the c. Let's see what is the output we are getting. Obviously false, because obviously a is not equals to b. Okay, that's great. That's great. Now I'm just going to make both the things equal. So now we are going to get true. But I'm just going to do one more thing here. And the thing is that I'm just going to convert this b to a string. So now a is a number, b is a string, and what we have here, a number. Okay, so inside a string we have a number here. So can you take a guess what will be the output? So can a number be equals to a string? So by the way, guys, it's a string. So let me just mark here like string string, and it's a number here. So let me just mark number. So it's a number and string, and I'm just trying to compare both the things. So what will be the output? Just take a guess, and we are just going to move to the next part. False, 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 false. Yeah, exactly. The answer should be false, but see, I am getting a true here. So JavaScript is actually saying to me that this particular number is equal to this string. Why? The thing is very straightforward. If you use double equals to, it will automatically convert the string. It will automatically convert this string automatically behind the scene. It will convert that string and it will make a number, and it will make it a number. And after that, it will compare. So this double equals to is just going to convert this particular thing. It's just going to convert this particular string to a number. And that's why we were getting. Now, if I just type 10 here directly, now in this case, we are going to get a false. Because even though if it will try to convert this thing into a number, it won't possible. It's not possible. So we will get this 10 here. So how it's going to convert? It's just going to remove that double quote or the single quote. It's just going to remove this double quote and the single quote. But we want to get a false here. So how you can do this? Instead of double equals to, use triple equals to. And now we will get a false here. So what's the deal about this triple equals to? So triple equals to actually don't do that conversion behind the scene. It won't convert this string to a number. It won't do that. So in that case, we are going to get the false. So my personal advice to you is always use triple equals to. It's because it's better. Yeah. But anyways, it completely depends on the situation. What kind of project you are working on, what is the problem statement, what is the feature that you are giving, etc., etc. So personally, I use triple equals to initially, and let's see if we have any condition there. So yeah, so that's the difference about triple equals to and the double equals to. It's very straightforward. In the case of double equals to, it will try to convert that string to a number, and it will try to compare that. So it will try to compare this, convert this string to a number, and now they are equal. In the case of double equals to, but in the case of triple equals to, it won't try to do that. I hope this thing is clear to you, and if yes, you just put here in the chat. Let me just give it a quick refresh here, and now we will move to the next topic, the loops. What I'm feeling like this session is going to extend a little bit. That is great. Okay, yes. So let's just move to the next part. So what is the next concept here? We were about to like complete the switches and all. Okay, so the loops. So we are coming to the loops, guys. So loops. What are loops? So we have 3 loops here. If you understand the first loop is called the for loop. It will be easy for you to understand the while and the do while loop. And I basically have a meme for you which exactly depict what is the for loop. Yeah, so first I'm just going to write that for loop for you. So what is a for loop? Like what are loops exactly? So loops exactly are if you just want to execute a piece of code again and again. If you just want to execute a piece of code again and again until and unless a condition is met. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, suppose I have a piece of code here and I just want to execute this code repetitively until and unless I'm passing a true here. And as soon as a condition is met, just don't repeat it anymore. Okay. So how we can write this? For that, just go over here and write for. Okay. For. So let me just suppose I just want to write this console.log hello. Let's say 336 times. So I can just do this hello, 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 hello. But obviously, it's not a great way to do your things because in programming, we have a concept. The concept is called dry principle. The dry principle, and dry principle actually is a full form. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat a piece of code again and again. So that's the thing about dry principle. And the thing is, we are actually repeating ourselves a lot here. So I'm just going to create a for loop here, a loop. So how do we basically you can create a loop? So just type a for here and a bracket, okay, and just write the code that you want to repeat inside of this bracket. Okay, that's very straightforward. So I'm just going to type here hello, and inside this for, we are just going to write three separate things. So first thing is called where I equals to 0. And let me just write whole thing first. Okay. Okay, that's so here we are. So this is a for loop, and you can see I'm executing this piece of code 6 times. Yeah, I'm getting the output 6 times. It's showing 6 here. So your console will actually club the same consoles together, and it will just show you the number. So just to prevent the spacing, so it's just clubbing the whole hello, 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 hello 6 times into a single hello, and it's just showing me that a 6 here direct. Okay. So let's just understand what we have written here. So here I'm using these semicolons. Okay. So the first part, in the first part, you can basically do what we said initialization. So just initialize a variable here. Just initialize a variable here and give it a value. So I'm just going to give it a value 0. You can give it like any number. Like we first have to like figure out what are the conditions that we are going to like give. But here I'm just going to create a variable here, and the variable says I equals to 0. And if you don't want to write this thing here, you can write this thing outside of the for loop as well. But just don't forget to put this semicolon. So you can do this initialization outside of this part or also inside here. So both will work fine. And the second part says if you pass a true here, if I just pass a true here, whatever piece of code you have inside of this block is just going to get repeated. Okay. So if it get a true here, it will just execute whatever piece of code you have inside this block. And after executing the piece of code that you have here, it will execute the line that you have here in the third part. Okay, so let me just give a quick recap. So here you can give basically an initialization. It will basically initialize a value. In the second part, you can provide a true or a false. So if you have a true here, whatever code you have inside of this block is just going to get executed. And as soon as all the code that you have inside this block is completed, it's just going to execute this line. Yeah, this third line. So let me just write a condition here. So I less than equals to 6. So what will happen here? So what is this third part is saying? So let me just show it to you. So let's just create a variable a. Okay, let's say 0. And I'm just going to change the value of a to 20. And let's just do a quick console.log for the a here. So we are getting 20 here. Remember, we can do this. I can also, let's just make this value of a initially 10. Okay. So now initially the value of a was 10. and after that it became 20, and that's why if we do the console log of a here, I am getting 20 here. And what I can do, I can just also make it a now equals to a plus 10. I'm saying that a is equals to a plus 10. So what we are doing here, that 20 plus 10 is the new value for the a. But you can see this 10 is actually the value of a. As you can see, we already have a variable at the very first line. So what you can do here, you can just do a equals to a plus 20, and we are going to get 30 here. Why? Now we are saying that make the value of a equals to a plus 20. What is the value of a till here? Right now, what is the value of a? It's 10. Okay, previously is what 10. So 10 plus 20, which is equals to 30. Now make this value equals to a. So now value of a is modified. So what I can do here, I can also do this a equals to a plus 1. So I'm just incrementing the value of a by 1. So again I'm incrementing the value of a by 1, and again I'm incrementing the value of a by 1. So this is exactly what I have written there. So there, in the case of for loop, I have actually returned there. Okay, so see closely here. What I'm writing here is create a variable called I, make it equals to 0. So now we have a variable called I which is equals to 0. Okay, and after that it will move to the second part. It will check if we have a true or a false here. So see, I less than 6. The value of I we have here is 0. So 0 less than 6 is a true. So we got a true here. So if it get a true here, it will get inside this loop and it's just going to execute all the code that you have here. Okay, so we will get this console.log hello in our output. And after that, it will come to this third part. So after that, it will come to this third part. And the third part says that make the value of I equals to I plus 1. It says I equals to I plus 1. So what is the value of I we have right now? It's a 0 plus 1, which is equals to 1. So now the new value for the I is 1. So just remove this 0 and make it 1 here. And now again it will move back to the second part and it will check for the condition one more time. So now the value of I is 1 less than 6. It's true. So we will execute this piece of code one more time, and now again we will come back to this third part. We will increment the value of I by 1 again. So now the I is 2 here. It will go back to the second part. In second part we will check for the condition. So it's gonna be true here. So now the value of I is 2 less than 6 are true here. So we'll get inside this loop, we will execute the code and the chain will continue. So as you can see, we are having a loop here. So from here to here to here to here, here to here to here to here. And let me just decrease it to 3. Decrease it to 3 for now. The condition we are going to check is I is less than 3. So there will be a time when the value of I gonna be 3. So 3 less than 3, it will just come back from here. So 3 is less than 3. So we are going to get a false here. So if we are getting a false here, so it will not execute this piece of code and it will just come outside of the loop. So the loop will get finished as soon as you will get a false here. So let's see if we are getting our output correctly. Yep, so we are getting the hello 3 times. And let me just console.log the value of I here. So I'm getting the value of I to 1. Just give me a second. Sorry, I, not 1, I. So I'm going to get the value of I 0, 1, 2. Yep, see 0 and 1, 2. So in the first loop, the value of I was 0. So that's why I'm getting the output 0 here. In the second loop, the value of I was 1. So I'm getting 1 here. Similarly, in the third loop, the value of I was 2. So I'm getting 2 here. So that's all about loops. Okay. And by the way, if you just pass a false here directly, so can you take a guess what will happen? If you just pass a false directly here, can you take a guess what will happen? Yeah, we are going to do that. Yeah, obviously you can use the format, Rohit. We are going to use that format. By the way, can you just take a guess? If I just pass directly false here, what will happen? Loop is going to execute or it's just going to do nothing? Nothing, exactly. So as I told you, if you just pass a false here, so what will happen actually? See, so as soon as it will come to this first part, it will initialize this thing. Now after that, it will move to the second part, and we have a false here. So as soon as it will see a false here, it will just come out of the loop right away. So nothing will be happening. So the loop won't even execute. See, I'm not getting a single line of code here. And take a guess what will happen if I just pass a true here. So what will happen if I just pass a true here? Take a guess, guys. Exactly. I'm so proud of you, you people. Infinite loop. Yeah, Nikita, using infinite. Exactly. So if you just pass a true here, so see what will happen. So first it will execute this line of code, then it will move to the second line and it will see a true here. So it will get inside of the loop, and after that it will come to the third part. So we will increment the value of I by 1, and again it will come to the second part if we have a true here again. So it will come inside this box one more time. It will just come to this third part, it will increment the value of I, and it will just come to this second part, and we have a true here. So this loop will be like infinite. So we don't put a true here directly. Yeah, it's a real nightmare, so don't do this. And that's all about the for loop. So if you have any doubts related to this for loop, you can just ping me in the chat. And by the way, what I'm going to tell you there, that's the only important parameter here is the second parameter. You always have to pass a false or true here. So just pass a false or a true here, or you can just pass a condition like this, which will eventually result in a true or a false. But this first part, you can basically remove this part and you can just put it outside of the loop. But don't forget to use this semicolon here. Okay? And also you can just convert this thing. We have a smaller syntax for this. If you just want to increment a value of a variable by 1, you can just type the variable name and do plus plus. So again, it's the arithmetic operator. So this thing is also operator, and we call this increment operator, and it will just increment the value of that particular variable by 1. So instead of writing this whole thing I equals to I plus 1, you can just directly type I plus plus. That's all. And also, you don't have to put this condition here. Remember what I told you, that as soon as whatever code you have inside of your block, as soon as this code got executed, it will come to this third part. What you can do here, why don't we just put this thing directly at the very bottom? So you can also do this. Okay. So it is also one of the for loop statement. So you will see these kind of statement a lot in the interview questions and all. So this is one of more kind of for loop statement. So if you have any doubts still here, you can just ask me. By the way, if you're feeling little difficult in this statement, just type this thing directly here. So don't just go with the traditional for loop. So I think we covered the for loop. So this for loop, for mama, no, for the papa, no, and for the int equals to I0, I lesser than 1, and we have 5 loops here. So it's one of my favorite meme related to the the loops and all. So it's a loop for the 5 times. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's a loop for the 5 times. Okay. So it's all about the for loop, and now let's move to something called while loop. So for the while loop, just type a while here, a bracket, and the block here, and just write console.log. I am inside a loop. Let's just put a loop here. Okay. And now what is the case with this while loop? So if you will just pass a false here, if you have a false here, this piece of code won't even get executed. But until and unless if you have a true here, so what actually happens here? So just pass a true here. So if you have a true here, all the code that you will have inside this code is just going to get executed. So what is the cycle here? So check for the condition, true. Execute the piece of code, and again check the condition, true. Execute the piece of code, again check the condition, true. Again execute the code. Okay. So as you can see in this piece, I'm just going to get inside an infinite loop, and if I just pass a false here, I'm just going to this piece of code is not even going to get executed even one time. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a variable var here. So let's say var I equals to, let's say 0, And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check for the condition I lesser than 6. So what will happen in this case? What will happen in this case? So now we have a variable I which is equal to 0. Now we will check the condition I which is 0 less than 6. Yep, true. So execute this piece of code and again check the condition. So in this case also I will get inside a loop, infinite loop. Okay, so even this case also I will get inside a loop. So why? Because one does not simply leave a while loop. We cannot leave a while loop simply. So it's to exit this while loop, we manually have to put a condition like increment I1, like I plus plus. We have to do this manually. So it's not possible to exit a while loop directly. We have to put a condition here. Okay, so we have to do this line of code here. Otherwise, we will get into an infinite loop. So see, I'm getting the 6 time loop here. And let me just put the value I here. So I can just put a comma here and an I to get multiple console.log. So if you just want to console.log multiple values, just separate all of the values with the comma to get multiple values there. So I'm going to get, I am inside a loop 0, 1, 2, 3 and till 5 here. Okay, so that's all about the while loop. And I'm just going to tell you a way to convert a for loop into a while loop. So like exactly, such go over here. So converted this thing into for. Okay, just put a semicolon here and a semicolon here. So now it's basically a for loop. Remember what I told you? So this is a for loop. Remember what I told you? That this is the first part and you can basically write this first part outside of your code. Okay, and this is the last part, and what I told you that you can basically write this last part inside the bottom. So this is a for loop, the regular simple for loop. So just copy this thing from here and paste it here. Just copy this thing from here and paste it here. So and go over here and write a while loop. And it's upon you which loop you want to use. So like for loop and while loop are almost similar. You can actually use any one of them. Okay. Now let's just come to the last kind of loop which we call as a do while loop. And it's very easy to write do while loop. So just go over here and move this while at the very bottom. And in the beginning, just type a do here. So it's do while loop. Done. So that's all do while loop. So what do while loop states? So it states that execute this piece of code, and then check the condition. So execute this piece of code and then check the condition. If we have a true here, execute this piece of code again and check the condition one more time. So the only difference between while loop and the do while loop is that the do while loop will execute the code first and then it will check for the condition. But in the case of a while loop, it will check for the condition first and after that it will execute the code. So remember what I told you, that JavaScript is just going to read your code from top to bottom. So this is written at the top and it's at the bottom, so that's why. So it's going to check for the condition after executing a code. So the case is very simple. Loop is going to be look like same. It's going to be exactly same. But there is a difference between the do while loop is that if you just pass a false here, so we have a false here. In this case also, the do while loop get execute one time. Why? Because do while loop will execute this code first and then it will check for the condition. So I have a very perfect picture for this. So do while loop is like shoot first and ask question afterwards. Yeah. So it will shoot first and after that it will ask the question. So it will execute the code first and then it will check for the condition. So like do while loop is like through thug. It's just going to check for the condition after executing the code. So that's all about the do while loop. And it's completely upon you on the project and what is the requirement of a project, what is the feature you are adding in a project, and that's all, etc. That which loop and also with which loop you are comfortable with. So these all three are our loops and all. So let me just go through the. Yeah, I think we are out of time, so we are going to cover the switch statements tomorrow. Yeah, we are just going to cover the switch statements tomorrow. So by the way, that's all about the today's session. before ending our session, like if you just want to learn more about JavaScript and all the stuff, you can just have a look on our full stack developer, or you can just go with, if you just want to see and if you want to just improve your resume, you can just buy a Netflix. The Netflix name is changed to Future Dev subscription. Here it's like a web series. For you're just going to get the web series, the live content just for developers on your demand. We have the content, the top-notch quality content from the tech professionals around the world. You can, and you will get a certificate certified by and STS, ITM, yep. And also it's just gonna cost you 400 rupees, and you're going to get the subscription for 2 months. You want to learn a new topic, just ask us, we will deliver that thing to you. And don't miss out the deal, because it's going to increase at many moment of time. And if you have the interest, if you just want to pursue this thing, if you just want to make this thing your future, your career, just look for our website. So just visit letsupgrade.in. Just visit our courses. So we have 2 courses for you. It doesn't matter if you're a school student, college, or a working professional, you can get enrolled. We have EMI options here as well. The course is very, very reasonably priced. I have personally taken course by myself, and I paid like almost a 2 lakh of rupees for that course, and I regret a lot. So we are just going to give you the full stack course for the data science and for the web development just for 36,000. And the thing is, if you just want to get the discount even further, just use my coupon code SK10. You will get the coupon code in the description to get 10% off instances. All the courses are job ready, and I hope I will see you in the future dev classes or in my full stack classes. So I am the guy who is just going to take your, what do you say, we have like a lot of trainers here, so I'm not the best one here, by the way. So I don't know why they give me YouTube classes and all. I'm not the best one here. So we have more trainers who are much better than me. So if you just want to learn from them, so just get enrolled. And tomorrow I will see you one more time. Don't forget to take part in the quiz. Tomorrow we are going to learn about switch, function, arrays, and object. And then we are going to modify our HTML. We are just going to modify this beautiful HTML from our JavaScript. We are going to take the input from the user. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff. And a fifth day, we are going to create a project. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye bye.